Chapter 7, Communicating in Social and Professional Relationships. For Chapter 7, we are going to discuss social relationships and why they matter, maintaining and forming social bonds, revealing ourselves in relationships, characteristics of friendships, and social relationships in the workplace. Why social relationships matter. We form social relationships because we have the need to belong. We have the need to form relationships. We have the need to protect those relationships. We have a need to seek out and maintain relationships. Social relationships bring rewards. So we have emotional rewards, and that's like if a friend calls you and needs to talk to you about losing a job or a recent breakup. We have material rewards. So if you need gas money or a ride, you'll have a friend there who could lend you the gas money or make sure you get to wherever you need to go. And then we have health rewards. So people that are in relationships, they tend to live longer, especially when it comes to men. Social relationships carry benefits, but they also carry costs. Cost to your time, an emotional investment, material costs as far as money. If you're going to hang out and go to the movies, it's going to cost you money. You might have to buy a new outfit if you're going to an event for a friend, and also a physical investment. It's very important for you to actually be there in relationships, whether it's physically or online or on the phone, but it's also a physical investment. Other negatives when it comes to social relationships could be in the form of cyberbullying. 4 types of relationships. So we have virtual relationships that start and stay online. It might be like a support group or something where you talk to people from all over various countries. Then there's the Pinocchio relationships where people meet online, but they later will meet in the real world. And that could be like some dating websites or even like a support group website, maybe moms that breastfeed or something like that. And then they'll eventually end up meeting face to face. We have the cyber relationships, and they start face to face, but they are maintained online. So, cyber friends, online friends. And then we have real worlders, and they start the relationship in person and they maintain it that way. So, people you meet in your everyday life. Forming and maintaining social bonds. So the attraction theory explains why individuals are drawn to others, beginning with the interpersonal attraction. And the interpersonal attraction is just what draws people together. It's like that force that brings people together or from one person to another. Then we have physical attraction, and that's being attracted to somebody according to their physical looks. We have social attraction, and that's being drawn to somebody according to their personality. And then we have task attraction, and that would be being drawn to somebody according to the things that they're able to do. Maybe you like the fact that some people can build things out of nothing. So that would be a reason to be drawn to them. So these are some characteristics that make somebody seem attractive. Their appearance, the way they look, proximity, that's if you're near them. So you could be in the same class as them, work at the same job, same neighborhood, but for some reason you're near them. So that makes them more attractive. Similarity, that means that maybe they like the same things you like, the same hobbies, maybe like running or hiking. And then complementarity, that would be somebody that has some of the attributes that maybe you don't have. Like maybe if you're a shy person, you might like the people that are outgoing and loud. The uncertainty reduction theory. So this theory suggests that we get to know others to reduce our uncertainty about them. So basically, when we're uncertain about something or confused about something, it makes us feel uncomfortable. So therefore, we try and get to know the person. We try and discover things about them. Social exchange theory says we seek relationships in which benefits outweigh the costs. So basically, in any relationship you have, hopefully you're benefiting from it in some way, and then hopefully you're also benefiting those other people that you're in relationships with. And this could be friends, coworkers, family, just people you care about. Hopefully you're there for them just like they're there for you. So we have the comparison level, and this is our realistic expectation of what we want and think we deserve from a relationship. So, especially when it comes to relationships where you have a partner, hopefully you know ahead of time what you deserve in a relationship, so you won't accept anything that is less than that, because you don't deserve that. You deserve the best. And then comparison level for alternatives. So we sort of assess and compare our current relationships to other options. That way we know we are getting what we need out of a relationship. So according to the social exchange theory, we seek relationships in which our comparison level equals or exceeds our comparison level for alternatives. So basically, when we're looking for relationships, we want to make sure we're receiving what we need, our needs are being fulfilled, and we're getting the best. Or we at least want to have something that resembles what other people are having that we think is really good. So equity theory suggests we seek relationships in which our ratio of costs and benefits is the same as our partners. So that means things are more equal. You're both there for each other. Maybe you lend each other money. Maybe you do favors for each other. Maybe you're there for each other emotionally and physically. So things are more equitable in those relationships. Over benefit is receiving more from the relationship than you are giving. So maybe you are the person that's receiving everything. The person is there for you emotionally. They're there for you financially, but you don't do anything for them in return. And then under benefited is the opposite. So you're the one giving everything, your time, your focus, your money, your attention, just everything you could think of, and the person isn't doing anything back for you. So you don't want to be in a relationship that's over benefited or relational maintenance behaviors theory focuses on how we maintain relationships. And this could be any type of relationship. So we have positivity, and that's like acting friendly and cheerful towards the people that you're in a relationship with of any sort. So they want to be around you. You know, smiles are universal. And if one person smiles, it makes other people smile, so you can make other people feel good. Also, there's openness, and that's being able to discuss your relationship or anything personal with you with the other person. So maybe you're disclosing personal information, and that makes each person closer if you're both disclosing information. And then we have assurances. So those are verbal and nonverbal cues to assure you that that person is going to be there for you. So maybe they'll say, sure, I'll always be there for you, or I miss you, or I love you, or maybe give you a hug when you need it. Social networks is that family, friends, face to face, maybe online, you are benefiting from being in this social network. And then sharing tasks. So everyone's doing their fair share of work, maybe at home. One person cooks the dinner and another person washes the dishes, cleans up the kitchen. Revealing ourselves in relationships. So self-disclosure is basically when you're sharing something personal with someone else, and hopefully they'll be doing the same with you. So therefore, you both know more deeply about each other. So we want to be intentional and truthful when it comes to revealing characteristics about ourselves. You don't want to be a catfish or something like that. We also want to make sure our self-disclosure has depth and breadth. So breadth would be like the range of topics that you guys talk about. So how many things do you discuss? Do you just talk about work? Do you talk about your family? Do you talk about your dreams? Like all these different things you want this person to know about you, and you want to also know about them. And then depth would be how deep do you actually go? Like, do you just go surface level? Or do you actually tell them like your actual fears and your actual dreams and why? Maybe things about how you grew up, maybe close family members. So that would be breadth and depth. And then it's varied among relationships, so it just depends. You'll have your best friends, you'll have friends, you'll have associates. And it also depends like how deep those relationships are. And then we have norm of reciprocity. So if you're doing something for somebody, hopefully they're doing things for you too. Hopefully you're both sharing intimate details. Like you don't want to just tell somebody all about yourself and then you don't receive anything back, because then it'll make you feel sort of naked and uncomfortable. Like, okay, I just told them all this stuff and they haven't ever shared anything with me. That'll make you like not trust them as much. And then it's also influenced by cultural and gender roles. Self-disclosure can be great. It can enhance our relationships and trust. Um, Basically, you can trust them more once they tell you a secret of theirs and you tell them your secret. So it makes the relationship grow. You have reciprocity, so you're both are sharing back and forth. And emotional release, we cannot keep everything bottled in that we experience or go through. And then maybe we could end up helping others, or you'll learn something from them that you can use to help in another relationship, like without revealing any personal details. Self-disclosure can also have some risks or some negatives. So you could tell somebody something personal about you and then they could reject you based off of whatever the situation was. You might tell them too much, or it might eventually end up being too much, and you have an obligation to them. Like maybe they know your secret and they might use it against you. Sometimes people use self-disclosure to hurt other people, or they can spread the information by violating your privacy, or you could violate theirs, basically by gossiping or spreading it online. Characteristics of friendship. So those are voluntary. You do have a choice to be in those relationships. It develops between peers, are governed by rules as far as like sharing information and not gossiping about it to other people or spreading it online. Friendships also differ by sex and gender. So this usually goes for people that are heterosexual, because there isn't like enough research done on people that are transgender or people that are part of the LGBTQ plus community. So as far as women being friends with women, so they share intimate details about their lives, conversations, they want to hang out and catch up. As far as men, men place more emphasis on like sharing activities, doing things with one another. And people are friends with the opposite sex. They like to get to know the other person's perspective or their points of view. And then it does talk a little bit about people that are part of the LGBTQ plus community forming friends that are of the same gender as them, but it doesn't give like a whole lot of detail. So there needs to be more research on that aspect of relationships and friendships. Social relationships in the workplace. So coworkers are your peers and you can form friendships with them, but then you also have a task dimension where you have to make sure you both are getting your work done. And sometimes that can cause conflict. Like if you're best friends with somebody who works for you, then they might not do everything they would do if they weren't your friend. So they might be more relaxed. They might talk back in a way, and not to be disrespectful, but it's just your friends, so that's how you talk to one another. But in the work environment, if they're a subordinate, that might cause conflict because other people might see that and think that they can do the same thing. So relationships between superiors and subordinates, so a boss and someone that works for the boss. So it does include a power difference that people that are co-workers don't have. There's no power difference between co-workers or peers. And they often have to agree to keeping things professional and keeping the personal side of the relationship out of the workplace. Social relationships with clients. So some workplaces believe that there could be a conflict between social relationships and task dimensions as far as with clients go. And then some companies will discourage this type of relationship with customers because that could maybe show favoritism. It can make things uncomfortable. It can cause a conflict.